Now China's facing the same stuff that Europe faced with the housing and loans not being able to be paid back, that massive delinquency rising. The same thing that happened in America, 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011 and 12. You can add all those years in there because it's still ongoing, of delinquent loans. So how is China affected too? Because we have a global economy now. Remember that whole push starting in probably the 50s and 60s? We're it was a slow push, but that's where it started. We're gonna go to a global economy, global trade, and it's gonna be great. It's always great on the way up. Everything's great on the way up. The stock market's great on the way up. Your retirement's great on the way up. Global trade, great on the way up. Love it. What happens on the way down? Oh, there won't be a way down. No, there's no. But there's been downs before. That's what these cycles are. But no, don't talk that. Only think positive here. Not gonna happen. But let's just say it does. Let's pretend. What if it does? What if there's a collapse after markets are rising and housing, everything's rising? Then there's a big collapse. It does happen from time to time. Well, considering we're in a global economy now, with a lot more global trade than ever done before, and any other time in history, if just a few countries start to falter, it's going to affect the whole thing. Kind of reminds you of those things called derivatives, where when there's one break in that chain, they all go to hell. Because each banking entity is issuing derivatives to other banking entities in quantities that far exceed what any of those banking entities have, even combined. Thus, the need for an indefinite bailouts of the banking system. Quantitative easing the 3 to infinity. Now, we were all, including myself, expecting QE3. I mean, it could have happened before the year ended last year, December even, 2011. Could have happened earlier this year. Here we are in the third quarter now of 2012. It finally arrived. We knew it would arrive. And they postponed it as long as they could just to try to make everyone think, no need to do QE3. We're still looking at the numbers and we still got some tools in the toolbox. You don't have some tools in the toolbox. You have one tool in the toolbox. And it always ends in printing money. Call it quantitative easing, call it mortgage security buybacks and mortgage-backed security. How are you getting those mortgage-backed securities? You're buying them. With what money? We're printing it. We're printing it. We're printing it from the future Americans now to deal with this problem now. That will even be worse in the future. But we're only going to deal with it now because that's what we do as government. We only deal with fires that are presented with us now. Put that fire out, put that fire out, put that fire out, put that fire out. And mostly, for the last several years, it's all economic fires. Fire, economics, bad housing, bad loans, bad credit ratings, print money out of control to try to paper this over. And as Gerald Celente says, and I'll say it again for the 1000th time, when they've ran out of cards, when they've run out of tools, and papered over the economy as much as they possibly can, and there's nothing else they can do anymore, they have one final card they always pull out. War. The average American, when it comes here, that war, World War III starts, and it could be a couple years, I don't know. They could drag this along a little longer, doesn't matter. Every American citizen, for the most part, should be, if history is my guide, completely okay with the war when it starts. They'll make it happen to where, again, it'll be something in the Middle East. Our guy got attacked in the consulate. They're doing this again. The embassies are under attack. These damn Middle Easterners, we're going to have to send the whole military over there. Well, they are killing our guys, man. That's an act of war. Even though we're in their land, we have a consulate, and that's kind of the way it works. If you attack that's an act of war. I guess we need to go deal with that. And Iran's going to get nukes again, man. We've been hearing about Iran getting nukes for how many years now? You don't think Iran could put a nuke together by now? For God's sakes, nah. Don't go there. Don't tell the truth, J-Snip. because we're going to need that to run a news story when the time comes to enrage Americans and make them want to go destroy the Middle East, including Iran, and completely forget about all the papering over of the economy, all your retirement, all your stock market collapsing. Forget about all of that stuff. Focus on the war, because it's the big one and it's the most important. And for all you people that don't have a job, even though we say there's an 8% unemployment, because we don't count the people who quit looking for a job because they couldn't find one. All of you people who need a job, breaking news from the president today, whoever the president may be at the time, either Mitt Romney or Obama, I can assure you one of those two. Breaking news, get ready for a major spiking down of the unemployment. We've got some jobs for you. Yeah! Proud to be an American. Fight for... What is it? What is it? You're going to war. Huh? Yeah. You need a job, don't you? Well, yeah. Nothing out there right now for you, right? Yeah. This war just happened to present itself, and we've got to deal with it. Plenty of jobs. And we may have a bunch of manufacturing setting up shop again back in America to deal with the amount of equipment and whatnot we're going to need to fight that war. Just like World War I and II. You don't suppose all that language in the March 16th executive order he passed this year, 2012, that I did a video on explaining this, lots of language in there about the government being able to just give anybody a loan that they want, doesn't matter about credit. If you're helping the government, or you have a manufacturing facility that does something and it needs to expand, needs to become larger to help the government in some way, shape, or form, we will give you the loan. We will make it happen. And in there, each secretary of whatever, secretary of blah, 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 all these different groups in the government have the right to do this and give loans. You don't suppose they do things in advance because they know what's coming, they know what they're going to do, so they take care of things a good bit in advance so that by the time it gets there, you normally don't remember it, you normally forgot all about it. Well, I don't forget about stuff like this. I've got videos, and thanks to the internet, YouTube videos, etc., you can go look at this stuff and remind yourself, hey, people were talking about this when it happened, even though we're about to go to war now. They were saying we were going to go to war right back then, not too long ago, and even gave reasons as to why these executive orders were being passed, what the language was that's in the executive orders. And it's perfectly, that executive order was perfectly written 2 or 3 years ago for right now. But they're telling us right now that this was unexpected and that some bad thing happened in the Middle East and we just have to respond. So how did they, by chance, get that thing passed into law? Of course, executive order, you just sign it, in advance, and the exact thing it was needed for happened just a couple, 2-3 years later. Coincidence. Coincidence. Take care.